Hello and welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly, an in-depth look at Cuesta College athletics. I'm Peter Schuler, and on this month's show we'll be joined by Cuesta men's basketball coach Rusty Blair and guard Daniel Solis. We will also have women's basketball coach Ron Barba and star center Autumn Russell. And just before we go, we'll steal a few moments with athletic equipment manager Eric Campos. Right now on Cuesta Sports Monthly, we are joined by seven-time Coach of the Year Rusty Blair and sophomore guard Daniel Solis. The Cougars are chasing their third straight conference crown. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Rusty. Welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Pretty good season so far, 20-8, ranked 20th in the state. Kind of assess how you feel this team is going right now and where you thought they'd be.
Well, as we all well know, that the season is full of peaks and valleys, and unfortunately we've hit a valley. And at this time of the season, we don't want to be in that valley, so we've got to get out as soon as possible.
All right, so you're 7-2 in conference, tied for first place.
Correct.
3 games to go. Moore Park's nipping at your heels. Ventura's kind of in the mix.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 games, only one of them at home,
Right.
which will be against a local rival, Allen Hancock. So it's not going to be an easy road to your third straight crown, but you're still in pretty good position.
Actually, an update from last night, Moore Park lost at home, so we're now a half a game up in front of Moore Park.
Well, congratulations.
So we're back in first place.
That's a very effective bye day where you get to pick up half a game. Huh?
Correct.
So, but Daniel, how are you guys feeling right now? The team feeling like they're going to push through and pick up a title and move on to the postseason?
Of course, we know we got to get these 3 games. We had a bad loss against Santa Barbara. We know what we have to do, and we believe we could do it.
Now, the conference is always up and down and pretty tough. What are some of the things? I mean, you've been coaching in this conference for 24 seasons. You know every coach pretty much up and down, and they know you.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that makes it more challenging, especially when you're playing each other 2 times a year? You played Santa Barbara for the 3rd time this year. That as a coach, where you have to mix and match against people who know you and you know them. How does that strategy work out with you guys?
Well, you know, it's a little bit different this year, our league. I think in our league there's a lot of parity in our league. Even Santa Barbara's having an up year for Santa Barbara, and I've told Morris, the head coach, that he's got great things to look forward to in the future because he's got his entire team back next year. But I think right now this is a league that's dominated by the point guard, to be truthful. Very rare do you have scoring point guards on every team that can score like they are and taking over games. So it's a little bit different aspect from us having to approach a team with a high-scoring point guard night in and night out that basically is penetrating to the basket at will. And that's been our main focus right now, is stopping that point guard, make him get the ball of his hands, and let the perimeter or the peripheral players try to pick up the scoring slack. So I think that every opponent is going to have the same challenge because it's point guards against point guards. And the plus for us is that we have a dominant post player, which no other team has. So I think it's from the standpoint of balance in the league, as far as point guards and post players, I think we have the edge on that.
Yeah, you have Daniel coming in. Yeah. Daniel, you've been this year's sophomore season, had a pretty solid freshman season. This year, even more playing minutes. Right now, we talk about penetration, but Daniel is also a fantastic outside shooter. He actually leads the team in 3-point shooting percentage. So, Daniel, as a sophomore coming in, what were some of the changes you saw to your role and kind of the way you feel you've developed here in the last 2 years?
Yeah, last year I was more backing Benyat up, giving some good rest as much as I can. But now this year, I'm coming in, playing more minutes at the point guard and at the 2 guard. Or sometimes we go small with 3 guards, me, Benyat, and Karim. So I just have to make shots because Karim's penetrating. Benyat will always find you. And we just have to hit open shots.
Yeah,
that's more
where Benyat have you the point guard on the team, the starting point guard the last 2 years, first team all conference last year. He's more of a distributor than a scorer, which would be against the grain kind of in the conference right now.
And actually, to get some prep on Daniel, he is the leading 3-point shooter in the conference, and he's in the top 15 in the state. So he's having an outstanding shooting year.
Yes. Yeah. And so one of the things you see, as a role there, do you guys transition with defense? How do you feel your role there's changed? Because you're great on offense. You also like to be a defensive stopper. I know you get down there and play some pretty tough D.
Take some charges, yeah.
What are some of the things that you feel like you've done to help this team get to this where they are, 20-8, 20th in the state?
One thing, just talking. Try to talk as much as I can on defense. Slide over, take a couple charges once in a while. Constantly keep my hands up. Try to get everybody involved, make everybody want to play defense. And Yeah, just try and take as many charges as I can, because I'm not going to block any shots, truthfully. So I'm just take as many charges as I can.
Now, Cuesta College has a strange demographic sometimes. So we have, I think we might have more players from Denmark this year than we have from America.
Yeah.
And you're one of the few Americans on the team. What is it like coming to Cuesta College and playing with players from not just around the country, but also from around the globe?
Yeah. It's different. It's different. It's something I've never experienced in my life, but it's taught me a different game of basketball. At home, it was more one-on-one, kick if somebody's wide open. Here, if somebody takes a bad shot, they'll tell you to take a bad shot. We want to move the ball, get a good shot, and if you don't do it, they'll tell you to move the ball. You'll be told if you don't do it.
Okay, and then Europeans just got more of a passing type game, more of a team-oriented game. Mm-hmm. Is that something you, as a player who played in Europe and coached there, is that something that you kind of embrace with those guys coming over here?
Definitely. I mean, I consider us the San Antonio Spurs of the junior college world. We move that ball, and sometimes we actually move it a little too much, where we want to get the ball to our primary shooter. Sometimes it misses the primary shooter gets it to a secondary shooter. So from the standpoint of moving the ball, I'd have to rate us very high in the state, if not the number one team to move. And that's really what basketball is about, is sharing the ball. It's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. And the way basketball has transitioned right now into, as Daniel was saying, a 1-on-5 penetrating kick offenses, I'm not that type of guy. I want everyone to touch it. I want everyone to have the possibility to score at the same time. It gets everyone involved in the game, and that's the main aspect, getting people involved.
Now, one of the things, I'll ask you this question, basketball and coaching in a lot of ways is kind of a copycat kind of thing. We haven't seen people copycat even though you've had tremendous success with a lot of European players coming here. Is it just because it's easier just to have one kid who's outstanding, or you're coming from the professional levels down to community college rather than working your way up to it? So is that kind of the change? Why haven't we seen more people recruiting European players?
I think it's the mindset, for one. The U.S. game, as Daniel was saying, is more of an individual game, where the European international game is more of a team game. And I'm kind of a team-type coach, so that's the type of players that we're looking for at Cuesta College. Why somebody hasn't copied that? Believe me, they're trying. Shh, keep it quiet.
Okay, well, for you coming here, what is kind of the key element for you as a player on this team to work well with so many people? I would imagine you being here, being a Californian, being accustomed with the culture. Yeah. How have you helped transition those players in, and how has that opened up probably doors for you a little bit?
Yeah, well, people just want to come to SLO because it's slow, so they love it here. So, I mean, just
is that why you came here?
Yeah, no, of course not. No, but they know they know the system. We want to move the ball. They know we win, and we're in SLO. So,
all right, all good things.
Yeah.
3 wins.
Yeah, 3 more wins so until the end of the season, and then we go into the playoffs again. So, Coach Blair is working on 500th victory, so hopefully we'll get there probably next year, maybe, huh? So we'd like to thank you, Rusty and Daniel, for joining us here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. We'd like to thank Rusty Blair and Daniel Solis for taking the time to join us here on Cuesta Sports Monthly. When we come back, we'll meet with women's basketball coach Ron Barba and his star center, Autumn Russell. Here on Cuesta Sports Monthly, stay tuned.
Thanks, Pete.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communication. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't put the boom in the shot.
Blown it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
We're back on campus with Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'm Peter Schuler. And joining us right now is women's basketball coach Ron Barba and multi-talented star Autumn Russell. I'd like to welcome Ron and Autumn to Cuesta Sports Monthly. Thank you. Kind of a interesting season right now. Right now we're kind of on a high with a 2-game winning streak. Last week was a nice back-to-back wins, a last-second win over Pierce, and then kind of an upset over Santa Barbara.
Right.
How are you feeling, if you want to assess the season a little bit and just ups and downs? And
you know what, we're in a position that obviously we're not happy where we are, but given the recent years we've had, but given the circumstances that have happened from the beginning of the year till now, I would say it's quite an improvement. And I just think that the kids that have gone through it, you know, they've stayed the course in terms of watching kids get ineligible with grades, suspensions, injuries, and that's part of the game, and that's what I try to tell the kids, you know. You can't coach against injuries. They happen, and somebody has to step up. And in our situation, we've had our ton of things that could go wrong. But I think the biggest thing, we've stayed positive through it. And right now, I'd say we're playing our best basketball. Yeah. Given the fact of what we have and who we have, the kids are stepping up. We easily could be 6-3 right now in league with all the things that have happened. We're 3-6, but I think we're 1 game out of third right now with 3 to go. So we still have a possibility that we could actually finish second. So anything's possible.
Well, Oxnard this week will be a big challenge for you.
That'll be
our
test, right?
Now, you talk about some of the adversity and everything the team's coming over. Autumn, you began the season late, missed most of the preseason, missed the first weekend basically with injuries. Last year you had a fantastic volleyball season, and then off-season injury kept you out of volleyball this season and brought you back into basketball, which was one of the good things that happened for basketball here for Cuesta, because you have been the leading scorer and leading rebounder for the team all season long. So what are some of the things that you've seen coming from a place of adversity already with this group, and how your experience helped you?
From the beginning, we are definitely meshing more now as a team. We are 2-game winning streak, so that's cool. And yeah, I think we've just had a lot of adversity, and we're doing better.
Now, how about you individually, coming from where you were and moving on now, feeling more confident and all?
Yeah, getting back into basketball was kind of hard at first, but just kept pushing through it. He kept pushing me through it.
So, I mean, you have a smaller team now. We lost another player because of an injury, right?
Right.
So we're down to 6. So it's, I guess that you have to kind of, as a group, you have to stand or fall together at this point. Is that kind of where the team is right now?
Yeah, definitely have to be strong since we only have 6 players.
Now, for you, missing volleyball, what was that kind of like the transition? I know basketball was your second sport, but is that going to be back in there? I know there's a lot of looks at you right now. They were rebounding and the way you've been playing. Is that still the focus, is volleyball, or is it?
Either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basketball is focus too.
All right, that's great. I mean, you're playing very well right now, so that's what we're saying. Ron, what were you kind of this season with the lack of experience on this team? You only had one sophomore coming back who wasn't a starter, and some of the newcomers. What was it like? You know, kind of a team building atmosphere for you, because you're such a change.
Well, I didn't really look at it, you know, as a big change. I think part of it comes in with your mentality. I think a lot of it, we just had so many issues with kids economically, finding a home, that kind of thing, that the distractions were so huge that these poor kids some were living in the cars. I mean, we had a lot of different scenarios that we were dealing with. So we were becoming, their parent, their priest probably, their, doctor, counselor, everything you could put into one. And it was very time consuming. The sad effect with this is players that get hurt, and then players that have grade issues. You're in this constant swinging of doors, and you're having players coming in and out so much. So I think that part affected chemistry right off the bat. I don't think we ever really got a good look at having 7 or 8 solid kids in a rotation because someone was hurt or eligibility. And right now is the first time we do have the 7, and they've been there, and it's starting to show with who we have. We've been in every league game, really.
Yeah.
And Ventura, with the exception, they beat
for
us.
a half you were there.
Yeah, we were a half. In the second half, we just missed shots, and they capitalized. But I've been really proud of these kids. I mean, and from a standpoint that they've given it their all. Autumn has come from, this injury to now we've seen her with 18 points, and I've been telling her all year, you're going to hit 20-something at some point. And by God, the other night she had 26 points, but she's done a phenomenal job with her injury, and a double-double right now in the league. That's impressive. So we've seen some good things out of it. It's just we're not used to the position we're in, but we're dealing.
Right. Normally you've established yourself.
Right.
You have that one sophomore, at least, or leader coming back. This year you had Connor and Autumn as your captains.
And they both got injured.
And they're both injured, both playing the first year. So there's a lot of changes there.
Right.
But now coming back into next year, how do you feel you're going to reestablish? I mean, we had a nice run there with three straight playoff years. How are you going to reestablish that with this?
I think our mentality is always the same. We want to run, press, and play our style. And I still think even with the 6 kids, we cause chaos to the other teams. Given the fact that we're recruiting pretty well right now, and I think we'll have good players in, and with some of the returners, I think it'll blend itself. When you have a good program, it's not unusual to lose kids after 1 year. And you go with it. You hope your players get scholarships. That's what you hope. You can't deal with economic situations with families, and that's just part of the game. You adapt. And I think one thing our players have learned this year, we all have adapted.
Yeah, you really have.
So, with that, I just grin and smile, and I always look forward. This year's not over. So, to me, I'm focusing on second place, and I'm focusing on Oxnard.
One of the things you did have to adapt to this year was changed from half 20-minute halves to 4 10-minute quarters, and your up-tempo game, and of course we had the grade change, the way that's counted. Did the quarters affect you much, or is that
You know what? I hate them. I'd rather go to the 20. I'll be just straightforward. I'd rather play the halves. I like it better. It's a better rhythm to the game, I think, and that's, as coaches, rhythm is what you want. I think the quarters puts a lot of time out. Shooting fouls in a quarter at 5 slows the game down. I'm an up-tempo, so.
Well, Autumn, I'll give you the last question here. I mean, you spent your freshman year at Pierce College.
Yeah.
And so what was it like for you transitioning down there? And now you have so many teammates who are from out of the area. Do you kind of sympathize with them in that way? Is that kind of one of your roles there with those? You have 2 kids from Ferndale. You have a kid from the area. So is that your experience as a kid playing outside the area, has that changed and helped you with your teammates a little bit? And are you glad to be back home?
Yes and no. I like being close to home, but I liked getting out and like getting out and seeing stuff.
So So is that your experience? You think helped you in your leadership role on the team?
Yeah. I don't know. We don't really have a problem with, I don't know.
Well, good luck the rest of the way to both of you. Let's get that second place. Right. So we'd like to thank Coach Ron Barba and Autumn Russell for joining us on Cuesta Sports Monthly. Good luck to the Cougars the rest of the way. And when we return, we'll talk with new athletic equipment technician Eric Campos in the interview section.
Cuesta.edu. Television, radio, broadcast, communication. Explore the world of digital communication and tap into your creative genius. Television, radio, broadcast, communication.
This is your boy, the DUI, and you're listening to KGUR.org.
Your digital future is at Cuesta College right now. Log on to Cuesta.edu now for enrollment dates and class information.
Don't put the boom in the shot.
Blown it, bro.
Cuesta.edu.
Welcome back to Cuesta Sports Monthly. I'm Peter Schuler, and now it's time for the interview segment. Joining me today is Cuesta Athletics' newest employee, Eric Campos. Eric came to Cuesta College from West Hills College up in Coalinga and is one of our new athletic equipment managers. So I'd like to welcome Eric and welcome to Cuesta College.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me.
And welcome to Cuesta Sports Monthly. So you're kind of our newest employee on campus. You're kind of in the department. You're kind of getting the feel for the department a little bit. Working with athletics obviously has its pluses. What brought you to athletics? What's your athletic background? Were you an athlete?
Yeah. I played a lot of sports in high school. The normal ones: football, basketball, and baseball. Also did a little bit of swimming, but mostly was basketball, where I played at West Hills College in Coalinga for Coach RC.
With Coach Mark
yeah,
RC.
Mark RC. Yeah, he's a great guy. And then what brought me here was that one day I was just looking for something different to do besides supervising at a grocery store. And so I was like, man, I might as well do something that I really am interested in, have a background, a degree in kinesiology. So I saw this job posted and just applied out of the wind, and I got it. Went through interviews, and people liked me, I guess, enough to hire me here.
Now, did you have much experience? What got you into athletic equipment, or was it just something?
You know what? I was actually inspired kind of by a guy who his name was Rob, who worked at Coalinga's equipment manager there when I was playing basketball. So I saw the things he kind of did, paid attention to him after practice, kind of things he went through, and I was always interested in it. Then when I saw it posted, I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely do something like that.
Now you made the big transition with the family down to San Luis Obispo. Yeah. And now your wife Lainey's also working on campus.
Yes, she is. She's working in
counseling. How did that all work out? How you came home and said, hey.
Yeah. So it was actually something we did together. We were both kind of just looking for something different. We had lived in Atascadero previously, and so we were interested in the area. But the tough thing was we had to drive for 6 months from Coalinga down here. And so that was tough on the family. The kid, my son was starting kindergarten, so it was kind of hard. We didn't get to really see him a lot. It was tough on him, but now we're here and everything's going great. We couldn't be more happy.
All right, yeah. All right. Now you talked about your being in athletics and stuff like that. Now you get to work with every team, and you have a pretty broad athletic background of yourself. Mm-hmm. What is kind of your idea about athletics, the importance of athletics, part of an education that you had? You had athletics in your educational background.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Athletics are very important. They help just build a lot of things that you're going to need in life. Working together with people when you get a job. You can do all kinds of things. They help you stay fit for one thing, which longevity for life and things like that. I just think they're very important, and they help build a lot of things that you're going to use in life later on. So. That's always been.
Now, athletic equipment manager has kind of a broad spectrum of things that you do. Yeah. What are some of the important things that you do to help support the programs here at Cuesta College? Make Cuesta College stand out a little bit.
I think that making sure our equipment is always set up before games, making sure that the athletes have their uniforms and practice stuff ready to go the next day for practices especially. And just making sure that the facilities look nice and presentable when people come in from opposing teams and visitors and things like that. So we've gotten a few comments, and people have appreciated the things that we do, and they say, man, you guys are doing a great job. That's what makes it worth it for me. So it's really nice.
Yeah, so it's little things kind of around in the background.
Yeah, we're just in the background hiding.
Don't see, and then it's almost, if you do it really well, they won't notice things.
It's only when you do a bad job usually people notice things.
Well, it's good that it brings at the level. I know we've been short-staffed with only one equipment manager the last couple of years, so it was nice. I'm sure they could tell the difference right away.
Yeah, I think so. People have said that before, that we were short-staffed, and they can really notice the difference, and they appreciate it. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges or things that challenge you in your job a little bit? Besides blood stains and all those kind of things.
Let's see. when we have a few games, like last Saturday, there was a few games, like 5 or 6 games that we had in one day, different sports.
We had the doubleheader softball,
yes,
the baseball game, and then
and
doubleheader
then basketball at
so
night. Yeah, so just making sure you're timing things out. It was kind of tough to just make sure I was at every game and constantly in contact with the staff who needs to get a hold of me if something goes wrong. So it was just that was probably the most difficult part, or some of the things that come up that are kind of hard to deal with, but we take care of them.
What's something that you really like about your job, and what's kind of the thing that kind of gets you up in the morning and really charges you up, and it lets you stay here until 11 o'clock at night at the end of a basketball, baseball, softball.
Yeah, what I really enjoy is kind of the freedom to just be either at my desk or out doing stuff, because I like to move a lot, obviously with the kines background, and so not having to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. Those are nice things that I really enjoy, and just being in contact with coaches, students, and his faculty. I really enjoy it.
No, I think one of the nice things is in the spring is you have to go out to all the baseball games, and it's when we have those nice spring days. It's pretty nice.
Today's another beautiful day. I mean, it's sunny and breezy. I can't ask for a better day. So
is that one of those things you like, moving from Coalinga a little bit closer to the beach? And the family's adjusting pretty well from all that.
Oh yeah, the family loves the beach area and the breeze and everything. It's beautiful. It's nice here. Yeah.
So we have a big holiday weekend, but of course we have games on there. So you're gonna try to find
no days off for me.
Way to the beach. Okay. One of the other things, as an equipment technician, kind of run us through your day a little bit. What would you do? I mean, because you have to support not only the athletics, but you also are doing the kinesiology stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'll take you through today, for instance. Today we got here about 8 o'clock. First thing I do is if there's laundry from the day before, we throw that in. So we get that going. Then we have spin class. So spin class, I'll go in there and make sure they have towels and sanitizers for afterwards, fresh batteries for microphones.
We know that's important.
Make sure there's no equipment that needs any cleaning or changing of a belt or like a shoe tie. After we do something like that, then we go back to our room and make sure nobody needs equipment for either like track just started. So they're getting, a lot of kids are coming, athletes are coming in for those things. And then I'll go do like a kickboxing class for kines. We'll set up about 25 kickboxing stations with mats, and then after that we clean that up. We'll set up basketball, put the rims down, get the balls out, things like that. At the end of the day, back to laundry, cleaning it up, and then making sure it's out for tomorrow.
Yeah, so basically mornings is kinesiology, getting that stuff done, then all athletics kind of afternoon. So really it's kind of a split job there.
Yeah.
Now you have a partner, Colin Campbell, who's been here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And how has that been working? Has he kind of been your mentor, or how's that?
Definitely been a great mentor. He's showed me a lot of good things.
It's not just about being Raider fans.
It's not. Okay. Even though we're both Raider fans. Yeah. No, we've gotten along great. He was on my application. He was on the committee, and so he got to select who he thought he would work with well. So it was nice, and every day he's telling me things like, hey, these are the things you should probably do, but not directly. So he's not like a supervisor, but he's definitely been giving great advice, and so I really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate having you on campus. You've been doing a great job
for
us, and it's making everything run really, really well. So
thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric, for joining us here today on Cuesta Sports Monthly as well. So that does it for Cuesta Sports Monthly. That concludes today's edition of Cuesta Sports Monthly. Remember to stay up to date on Cougar Athletics. Visit the Cuesta Athletic website for information on all of Cuesta's athletic teams. We'd like to thank today's guests, Rusty Blair, Daniel Solis, Ron Barba, Autumn Russell, and of course, Eric Campos. The show is produced at Cuesta College by Cuesta Broadcast Communications Department as part of the Cuesta TV project. Check out Charter Cable Channel 2 all year long for this show, as well as other ongoing podcasts of Cuesta athletic events. I'm Peter Schuler. For all of us here at Cuesta, thanks for watching, and thank you for your support of Cuesta Athletics.